Now, when the Chevy Volt goes on sale this November, the electric car will be incorporating lots of new technology, including some that's not so obvious. Case in point, the simulation models used to design and test the vehicle, they are produced by Ansys, a $3.8 billion software firm based in Canonsburg, Pennsylvania. The stock reached a 52-week high in early August. It has retreated since then, but still 12% higher on the year. The company's CEO, James Cashman, joins us now to talk about this company which tests a lot of really exciting stuff. It's almost like a Toy Story story. Let's talk about what else you do besides making technology, making software to help test cars. What else do you look at?
Well, I think probably the key thing is that we have 35,000 customers worldwide. There's probably no industry sector that accounts for more than 20% of our total revenue. So basically, we are in every sector that you imaginable. It'd be hard to think of a company that isn't. But you mentioned one of there are a couple sectors that have really been strong in the last couple of years. And one is the general energy industry, anything related to acquisition, creation, or efficient utilization of energy. And one of the spillover benefits of that is the automotive industry, as you mentioned, where it's going through transformations as we're having to come up with new ways to look at innovative ways of driving the car. That's everything from fuel cells to hybrid electric drives, as you mentioned, the Volt. So there's a whole range of things trying to drive this in quantum leaps from what we've traditionally thought of the automotive industry as.
Do you think, I was talking to Jennifer Granholm, the governor of Michigan, about this before. I mean, is this sustainable? Is the hybrid electric car trend one that's here to stay? I mean, surely you see technology before it even comes out.
Right. Well, in fact, it is one of many good alternatives. We've also seen people getting into hydrogen-fueled cars and the like. But there's no doubt that the ability to capture all of the lost energy and inefficiencies changing through that. One of the more exciting things we've seen that's very prototype stage right now is a completely different kind of internal combustion engine that doesn't deal with typical reciprocating pistons, but it actually deals with a toroidal kind of shape. But simply put, what the goal is to be able to go a couple hundred miles with 4 adults at 50 miles per hour on a single gallon of fuel. So, I mean, these are not incremental improvements we're talking about. These are quantum leaps in capability.
The company has grown, obviously, from a $100 million market cap to now $3.8 billion, as we said. Do you find there is much more need for this kind of technology, testing software? I mean, are we moving into an era where Moore's Law takes over for also car development and smartphone development?
Well, we certainly haven't hit that case yet. And some of the key leading indicators we have are the percentage of engineers who really could be benefiting from the utilization of this. It's still relatively low. A second trend is related to general trends that some people would link under high-performance computing or cloud computing, the point where a single engineer might be using 1,000 licenses simultaneously to solve a very complex problem in a very quick time. So actually compressing the calendar, if you will, utilizing the power of the computing. So from these particular points, it really probably the most telling thing is that our fastest growing sectors are the customers that are actually the most installed in our software. So as they get through that second generation of learning, the needs are going to keep going. The global competition is increasing, the cost pressures to go down, matched with really a shortage in terms of engineering talent graduating from major universities that can actually fuel this thing. We have to amplify all aspects of the portfolio.
Let's talk about earnings for a moment. I mean, it sounds like there's so much opportunity out there. You just actually did raise your earnings guidance going forward. What kind of gains do you see for Ansys? Do you see a normalization, or do you see continued growth the way you're looking at next quarter?
Well, next quarter we're seeing just a continued of stabilization, but still there's a lot of question marks in some of the customers' mind. In some cases, they are hedging bets. There's a little bit of uncertainty going forward, and that's tending to at least dampen somewhat the investment patterns that we're seeing. But over the last couple of quarters, we've returned back to double-digit growth, not at the 07, 08 levels that we had, but definitely we've seen the decline tend to halt. We've seen the stabilization, and long term, the prospects really are just about as good as we've seen over the last few years, because all the driving factors are still pushing toward getting a product better and getting it earlier in the cycle.
All right, we appreciate you joining us, Jim Cashman, there, CEO of Ansys.